How do you decide how much receptor overexpression is enough to reveal constitutive activity without pushing the system into a range that no longer models physiology?
All right. Interesting question. First of all, you'll see it. So you just keep expressing until basal response goes up. But again, there's nothing physiological about this. This is probably not going to happen in normal physiology. You're creating an artificial system to reveal in your compound a property. So it isn't like you're trying to say, oh, I'm seeing something that'll happen in real life. It may or may not. Again, it's like the low level of intrinsic activity. But you are cranking up an assay to reveal a property of your compound that could be important. In the case of an antagonist, this could lead to tachyphylaxis, which was an interesting case, if I might expand a little bit on that. This was seen when the H2 inhibitors came out, and they were tested for ulcer acutely. They all worked, and then chronically, some of them stopped working. The ulcer would heal for a while, and then it would stop healing. So they looked at that, and they noticed that with these compounds, the oxyntic cell, which is the cell that produces acid for the stomach, began to get highly elevated levels of histamine H2 receptor. So it was sensitizing in response to the antagonist. And the reason was the antagonist was an inverse agonist, which froze the receptors on the surface from ever forming an active state. So they stayed there, but the cell was still making receptors. Normally, it's a wheel. Receptors are made, change states, get internalized. This stopped the wheel. So now the cell was churning out receptors. There were more and more and more of them, and that caused the escape from the antagonism. So again, whether that happens depends on the target, depends on the cell type, so it may or may not happen. You are optimizing the eyes to see what your compound may do out there.